Welcome to my food storage room. When I started my food storage, one of the first things that I learned was that I needed to stock up on wheat and I needed a wheat grinder. Now that's a problem for me because they don't sell wheat where I live. They grow it here, but oddly enough they don't sell it here, and I have to buy my wheat over the internet. So I didn't know anything about grinding wheat and or wheat grinders, and I thought that I would go with the cheapest thing that I could find, and I bought this grinder here. Now this is not a wheat grinder, it's actually a corn grinder, and it's not the best at all. In fact, the first time I used it, the cotter pin here sheared right off, and I have a nail jammed in there now so that I can make it work. And I'll grind a little wheat in it to show you just what it does. I thought that I could just buy this thing and somehow I would make it work. You cannot make this work. It's not going to grind wheat into a fine flour. Tell you what, I could sure use a cameraman because I can't tell what I'm filming half the time. But hope you can see how the wheat turns out in this grinder. It's very gritty. It's you can't make bread out of this. It's just, it's not edible. And I can run it through this grinder several more times, but it's not going to get much better than that. So if you need a grinder and you really can't afford anything else, this is better than nothing. But if you can afford to do better, then don't waste your money on this because it's just not worth it. The wheat grinder that I found that does work is the Wondermill Junionr. Now this thing is heavy. It weighs 15 pounds, and it is solid metal, and I don't know if you can see how thick it is. It's very, very thick, very heavy metal, and it has stone grinding burrs. That's very important when you're looking for a good wheat grinder. And it has 2 clamps, which helps keep it from shifting on you when you're using it. It has an extra set of rounding wheels. Here they are. Extra set of wheels come with it that you can use to grind nuts into peanut butter, almond butter, any kind of nut butters that you like. These are like metal. I haven't tried these yet. So I'll clamp this on, show you how it works. See, it only took a couple of minutes, and it's a nice fine flour. And if you wanted to make it even finer, you could run it through the mill again. But this, compared to that, you can see the difference. I guess I've done about 1/4 of a cup so far. as you can see, grinding the wheat is hard work. It doesn't go as easily as you would hope, and I don't think it has to do with this grinder. But I've seen other videos where people will put a longer handle, which gives you more room to hold to use two hands, and they say that really helps. I've been thinking about finding a pipe that will fit over the handle where I could just slip it over and use that. But it does turn the wheat into a flour, and you could probably even run it through and get it even finer if you needed it that way. But you can make bread with this. I've only been out here for a few minutes, and I have half a cup. A lot of people complain that it's just not fast enough for them. They prefer electric ones, but I really wanted a hand crank in case I had to do without electricity. And honestly, I'm not going to use this thing unless I absolutely have to. So that's the Wondermill Junionr. And let's see. I'll do a side-by-side comparison here. So here's the wheat that I ground with the corn grinder. See, it's very gritty. And here's the wheat that I ground with the Wondermill. It's flour. Well, there you go. Hope it helps.